Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Ayash in Germany. Today I'm going to speak about the fastest way to get the permanent residence in Germany. So first I'm going to explain what is the permanent residence, what is the advantage of this permanent residence, what is the requirement or what are the requirements to get it, and then I will speak about the fastest way to get the permanent residence. So stay tuned and let's start. So let's start with what is the permanent residency. Permanent residency in Germany means that you can stay here unrestricted. So there's no restriction for you stay. So it's like an indefinite leave to stay in Germany, to stay and to work. So if you would like to stay, what is the advantages of this permanent residency compared to other normal temporary residencies? First of all, you don't need to go to the foreigner office or the like if you are here in Germany, there's something called the foreigner office where you get like your permit. So once you finish your work, you have to find another work to get the second permit, and so on and so on. If you are a student, then you would like to extend your student permit, which means that you need to be still student. So there should be always a cause for your permit, either to study, you are enrolled, to work, you are working, whatever. But once you are permanent, stay here unrestrictedly or with no restrictions. Also, when it comes to work, when you are a permanent resident, you can work like as a freelancer, self-employed. You can work as employee, like employee in certain company or whatever. You can do any type of work. It's not necessarily that work is related to your education. You can do any type of work. So what is the difference between the permanent residency and citizenship? So permanent residency, you don't have the German passport, and you are not allowed to elect or to participate in the elections, parliament elections or whatever. So this is the two main difference between the permanent residency and citizenship. So if you would like to speak now about what are the requirements so you can get the permanent residency, I will speak and I will tell you about all the requirements, and at the end I'll tell you what is the fastest way to get this permanent residence. First thing, you need to work and stay in Germany for 5 years. So you have to stay in Germany for 5 years and work, then you can apply for the permanent residence. This is the first thing you have to fulfill. The second thing is that you have to achieve a minimum German proficiency of B1. Also, you have to pass a test called Lebens in Deutschland test or Einbürgerungstest in Deutschland, which is like a test that you do to say that you, or to really explain, not to explain, like they assess you in this test that to see if you know about the social life and about the political life and about the rules here in Germany. It's only a test you can prepare with certain question bank, and you do this easy, no problem at all. Then you need, of course, the basic things. You need to have a rent contract, house, like an apartment or whatever place where you live. You have to have health insurance. You have to have or have to submit the pay slips of the last 6 months. Then these 5 years are reduced into 4 years if you are a skilled worker. So if you are working in a profession that makes you skilled worker, like for example an engineer, a doctor or whatever, then these 5 years are reduced into 4. Okay. If you are a blue card holder, if your like permit or your work permit is a blue card holder, then you can apply for the permanent residency after 33 months. And if you are a holder of the blue card and at the same time you achieve a high proficiency in German, then you can even apply after 21 months. And now I can come to the fastest way that you can get a permanent residency in Germany. The fastest way is that you are studying here in Germany and you get, for example, a degree, for example, a PhD, a master's, a bachelor, whatever degree. Then you only need to work for 2 years, for 24 months, and then you can apply for the permanent residency. Of course, other requirements you should fulfill it like the same, but the time is reduced into only 2 years, 24 months. Of course, the blue card, if you have the blue card and you achieve high level of German proficiency, you can get it at 21 months, but also blue card have a lot of other requirements you need to fulfill. You need to fulfill certain minimum salary to get it, so not everyone will be able to get a blue card. And that's why still after studying here, and then 2 years you can get the permanent residency easy after 2 years, assuming that you fulfill the other requirements, of course. Of course, for the B1 level, sometimes in the foreigner office they require a recognized test, for example a TELC test, like GUTA test, whatever, something recognized like IELTS and TOEFL in English. And sometimes they only ask for like a course that you did, a course, for example Abend course or evening course, and then you did at the end an exam, and that's it. But it really, I don't know, because it depends on the it depends from one state to another, from one city to another, even from one foreigner office to another, from one person to another who are interviewing you. So it's really variable. So best thing that you do the recognized like certificate. You can also try without it, because sometimes it's also working just to prove that you have a level of B1 with like attending courses and doing just exam, but not like those exams that are recognized like TELC and GUTA. So it's really variable. Usually when you apply, it takes like from 3 to 4 months until you get the residency, and sometimes it's even in 1 month. Also, it's really variable from place to another, city to another, state to another. Also, I have to here to explain something very important, that the permanent residency, as the name is permanent residence, which means it is not expiring, it will not expire. The only way that it could expire if you left the country after 6 months, for 6 months. For example, if you left Germany for more than 6 months, then you can lose the permanent residency. Otherwise, it's not going to be lost. And don't confuse it when you get the card, because sometimes when you get the card, you can find the card expiry at certain days. This is the expiry of the card itself, of the Ausweis, of the identity card itself, but not the residency. The residency or the residency itself, the permanent residency, is indefinite, but the card itself needs to be renewed. So this is a difference that you have to consider, and not to be confused how it's permanent residence and the card have expiry date, because the card need to be expired, need to be changed for your photo, for your details, whatever. That's why they put expiry date. And sometimes usually it's the expiry date is the same expiry date as your passport, because you know your passport is valid for 10 years, for 7 years. Sometimes you do it the same. So when you renew the passport, you have to also renew the card itself. So of course, as I told you, permanent residency is very important and very nice, because it makes your life easier, and you don't need to worry about, of course, for example, you are working and you stopped and you'd like to look for another work, and you need to have, for example, 2 months in between to look for work. With permanent residency, it's easy because you can stop and nobody will tell you anything. But if you, for example, on a work permit and you stopped, and then you need to, for example, you finish your work and then you need to apply for another work permit, then you need to find another work first, because otherwise the work permit will be issued until you have a second work. But permanent residency gives you this flexibility to stay a little bit and look for work, because it's already valid and it's not connected to the work or to the study or whatever, if you know what I mean. So I hope you liked my video, and I hope to see you next time on my channel, Ayash in Germany. Bye bye.